Welcome to the show, guys. Got an exciting one here for you as we prepare here in the offseason, ramping up for fantasy football 2023. We are talking about a bust around. I've got a bust here for every single round, 1 through 6, and Gwen has got a bust that she feels will underperform. Okay, for each round, 1 to 6. We're going to go through 6 rounds and tell you who to avoid, players to avoid. Gwen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about busts and not my own.
Oh my goodness. How about the Deshaun Watson bust? How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're a big time bust here. I'm looking at your shirt here. Now, if you guys are listening in the car, go to YouTube if you want the visual aspect. She's wearing some sort of knockoff Eagles logo shirt that I've never heard of. Who are the Scooter? Who's DJ Scooter? Is that like a singer or something? Or like
No, so DJ Scooter is actually, he's a friend of mine. I've known him since I went to college at Penn State, but now he's actually a pretty big name DJ.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Well, he does amazing mashups, and he's actually one of the DJs for the Phillies. So
okay. Now that gives him some credibility. Not that I'm an Eagles fan. Today I'm a Falcons fan, as you can see.
Yeah, but he made this obviously because he's an Eagles fan too. So it's the Eagles logo, or it's meant to look like the Eagles logo, but it's with his DJ name on it. So he's an excellent DJ. So Shaq actually played. So we talked about Shaq on the last episode when Shaq was in Philadelphia. Shaq actually played his mix of Meek Mill and Little Uzi Vert, like the 2 Super Bowl songs from 2018. Right. And then this last year when we were in the Super Bowl, he mashed them up, and Shaq played his mix at a performance in Philadelphia. So he's a dope DJ. You guys should check him out.
DJ Scooter. All right. Yep. Shout out to him, whoever he is. All right. Also, guys, speaking of shout outs, make sure you guys grab the 16-round draft solution. Secure the solution, secure the championship. Sleepers, breakouts, ultimate players drafted in each round. Secure it below. Use code SMASH to save. So I'm excited about this. Maybe we'll get DJ Scooter on here to pick a bust as well one day. But today, we've got 2 busts for each round. Players to avoid. Not only are we going to tell you who they are, but we're going to tell you why we're avoiding, and we're going to let you know if we agree with each other, because Gwen and I are probably going to debate a couple of these, maybe, who knows. So the first round, who are we avoiding? You guys know this. I am 100%, 150,000% going to be avoiding Christian McCaffrey. And for you, Gwen, you're avoiding Stephon Diggs for some reason. Let's hear your theory here on why you're avoiding Stephon Diggs in round 1 of fantasy football. You don't like him, do you?
No, I think he seems unhappy with his role in the offense, and he's been too noisy for me to want to take him in the first round. He is coming off a good year, but he seems upset, like specifically with Josh Allen.
Right.
So I'm seeing him go off the board early first round, and I just don't think he's worth the first round pick. So
that is a concern. Obviously, I've been talking about this, the drama, right? I'm kind of torn on this because I feel that like Diggs and Allen, their time is running short together on the same team. They're going to probably make a Super Bowl run, that type of thing. So they could have this amazing year, but they got Gabe Davis there. They drafted Dalton Kincaid. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, who cares? You know I don't care. Dawson Knox, they got some options, right? So James Cook catching the ball in the backfield, tons of options. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of that like weird year where it's like kind of boom or bust. I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy, so I can kind of agree with you on that. The guy I'm talking about for me is Christian McCaffrey. I'll tell you why. And call me crazy here, but in 2020 and 2021, played 10 games in those 2 seasons. Last year on the 49ers, did well. There's no denying his numbers were there, on par. But he's coming off now as the number 1 running back off the board with Eckler. He's either a first round or a first overall or second overall pick. For me, too rich for my blood, coming off a pinnacle season. And he's not a young dude. He's going to, what, a 6th, 7th season? I got to pull up his exact season he's in. Let's pull up. What season is Christian McCaffrey in? Either way, the point I'm trying to make is he's not a young buck anymore. Like, he's young, but he's not like a fresh rookie. How old is he?
27. He's 27.
7th season. Yeah. 7th season, Gwen. Like, 2019 was a good season. Then he fell off the last 2 years, had his last hurrah. He's been paid. He's been incentivized. That's it. I mean, 27-year-old running backs first overall, yeah, no for me. That's why I'm avoiding him. And again, that injury concern may come back because he had it for 2 years. What do you think? Christian McCaffrey, you in?
You know, I completely disagree with you here. I think
just
he's going to
a compelling case. Like, I don't know how else to tell you.
No, I think he's going to have a boom year as long as he doesn't have an injury. So
we got to bring Connor here because you are going to agree with him. So And if you haven't seen it, we're not bringing Connor here today. He's so exhausted from the birthday celebrations. We're keeping him out of the show. He danced, he sang. Go watch him in the last episode with Gwen and I. It was on the mid-round gems. Go watch that show. And Connor did a beautiful song and dance. Go back and watch.
He did, actually.
He did. All right. So we're talking now busts. Second round. Here we go. Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs, who we've got queued up here. Adams is my guy who I think is going to bust, and you got Josh Jacobs. Do you want to explain why you dislike Josh Jacobs this year and why he's going to?
Bust.
Let us know.
So the second round's tough for me because I love a lot of these guys, but I'm gonna have to go with Josh Jacobs because his contract situation is not resolved yet, and after his monster year last year and losing Derek Carr, I expect more teams to stack the box and dare Jimmy G to like throw the ball.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is the possible holdout. He also is going to get tagged, I think, 10 million, something like that, coming off a big year. So that's my concern is the potential holdout. Obviously, the quarterback change, like you said, I'm not drafting him. He's a player I'm going to avoid, potential bust for sure. And this was a guy, Gwen, that was coming off round 3 to 4 with David Montgomery for years. Had this breakout year because it was a contract year. Didn't get this big contract. He might be a little disgruntled and bitter. Now, I think Saquon's potentially threatening holdout as well. But Josh Jacobs got more attitude. He's a little more chippy. I think he's going to potentially hold out. I think he's going to be problems. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll have to look this up, but I think if you hold out for X amount of time, you start getting docked. They start taking away from your pay, and that's where I think they're going to, have the issue. So Jacobs a bust. Adams, for me, what is he, 31 years old, 30-something years old, coming off 2 pinnacle years, significant downgrade at quarterback. Now, he is the wide receiver 1 there, should be primed for targets and volume, but not anywhere near last year's 180 targets, which was absolutely insane, Gwen. 180 targets, you're a wide receiver. That's a lot of targets.
Yeah, that is a lot of targets for sure.
100 receptions, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, and a partridge in a pear tree. This guy had it all. I'm gonna fade him. Decline 100% coming, especially with like second round. I'm looking at the upside of like a Garrett Wilson there, who's got a real quarterback throwing to him, right? I mean, Rodgers really helped make Adams who he was. Now Garrett Wilson, the young dynamic guy, I'd rather have him over Davante Adams in like a round 2 average ADP. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm going with. All right, round 3. Busts. Travis Etienne and T. Higgins are the guys we're choosing. And in the comments, make this interactive. Let us know below. Are these guys bust? Do you like them? Now, the Sheeps Connor, everybody and their mother likes Travis Etienne, but he was average last year. And you are thinking Higgins is going to bust. What are your thoughts? Higgins, I think, believe it's a contract year as well.
Yeah, I think the goal in the first 2 rounds is to get 2 guys that are solid production. And the goal of the third round is to hit a guy who you think has the first round upside. T. Higgins doesn't really have that upside. While he's on a pass-happy offense, I think taking a swing at a guy like Olave or Gibbs, who I've talked about before, I would take them over him here. And I would throw Breece Hall on this list, but I feel like I should give you a break from defending him.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gibbs round 3. Higgins is a no for me. Travis Etienne is also another bust. Again, let us know below. Again, everyone's telling you go 0 RB, wide receiver, Etienne's your RB1. That's a big no for me. They drafted Tank Bigsby round 3, and apparently he's looking good in camp. Love myself some Bigsby later if I had to. Etienne was very inconsistent last year. I've talked about it. I want to sound like a broken record because I want to hammer this home, Gwen. Imagine you drafted early draft capital in Travis Etienne. He's like your RB1, RB2, and he puts up 0.3 fantasy points in PPR. Didn't even catch a ball. Ran for 3 yards. That was it. And there's multiple games where we had like 3.2 points, a 7-pointer in there. Absolutely disgusting, gross. Travis Etienne, disgusting, and a big-time bust.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on him. I won't be touching him either. So we agreed for once.
No, I know. It's a rare occasion here. So let's move on here to round 4. 2 other guys that people are excited about, more so much about the guy I think is going to be a bust in round 4. Now, remember, if you want all the optimal players to draft each round, grab 16 rounds where we omit these guys. Last year, I told you to omit DeAndre Swift, everybody has him at a top 8 running back. So secure the solution, secure the championship, because that's going to help you omit these potential busts. So I'm going with J.K. Dobbins. You're going with Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, not the greatest year last year. Obviously hard to contend with that inflated year in 2021. We had like 8 I don't know how many touchdowns. I got to go back and look. It was a lot of touchdowns. They were using him as a running back as well. Not going to happen this year. Why do you not like Deebo Samuel? What's your story here?
Yeah, so I'm a pretty vindictive fantasy player. So I'll refuse to draft guys that burn me. And I got Debo in the early second round last year, and I felt pretty good about it. But that pick just killed me. He was outside of the top 25 wide receivers, and he has seemingly been the odd man out with CMC coming in and Ayuk improving, and obviously Kittle being there. So just not enough touches to go around. And like I said, burn me, and I probably won't be drafting you again.
Yeah, it's like, burn me for me. It's years to wow me, and I'm not wowed. Now, I did look it up. 2021, he was inflated. This is the problem, Gwen. You got to understand why I have a chip on my shoulder, why the mainstream can sheeps this, and all the other analysts dislike me. Because I speak the truth. So what happened, Gwen, in 2021, he actually had 8 rushing touchdowns, okay? So let me get this straight. 8 rushing touchdowns. Overinflated. He's not a running back. Yeah. He's not a running back. Now, when you put that in context in 2021, when you look at 8 rushing touchdowns, that put him 9th. He was tied with like a Nick Chubb, a Leonard Fournette, a Melvin Gordon, a James Robinson in 2021. So when you look at a guy who was inflated, he did really well as a wide receiver because of that inflation. They were using him as a gadget player. Now, 2022, everybody said, draft Deebo Samuel. He's like a top wide receiver. I'm like, no. Take a look at 2021. And that's the thing. They're not looking at like what the changes are. They're not thinking outside the box and using common sense. They're just copying and pasting. That's why we created Connor. That's why Connor is here to emphasize how corny and stupid these people are. So anyway, Deebo Samuel, not really sold on him. Again, they got other options there. Suspect quarterback situation. Is it Purdy? Is it Lance? What's going on? I don't trust it. Now, for me, it's J.K. Dobbins. That's my bust in round 4. Years to why we were not wowed going into a situation where the quarterback is a running back. I don't know how else to tell you this. He's a running back. He puts up top 10 running back numbers. And whenever you're in that type of situation, he's never going to succeed. And Dobbins has had his share of injuries. He just hasn't done anything. I think his rookie year was decent. Didn't play his second year. His third year was mediocre. No. He's a no for me across the board. I don't trust him. You've had your opportunity to shine, and he just hasn't. And again, people keep doing this, Gwen. 0 RB and making J.K. Dobbins their RB1. Very hard to trust. Very hard to trust. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, actually, I do agree with this one. I don't trust him to stay healthy at all. So I agree with you.
All right. We're getting along too much today. We'll have to bring Connor and get a fight going here. All right. Next big time potential busts in round 5. Let's go here. We've got here James Conner and Michael Pittman. My guy is Conner as a bust. Yours is Pittman. What are your thoughts on Mr. Michael Pittman Jr.? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not touching Indy's offense with a 10-foot pole. They do like the Grinch. They do absolutely nothing for me across the board. So I'm going to be staying away from Pittman, especially since I believe their pass offense will be atrocious, especially after Richardson takes over. So.
Yeah, obviously you got suspect quarterback situation. You've got Pittman hasn't looked phenomenal. It's a very weird situation, especially at the wide receiver position, especially when you got a quarterback that rushes a lot. I think Jonathan Taylor thrives. I think he gets a lot of volume, but hard to trust Pittman. And then you got James Conner, who another guy was inflated a year or two ago. Lots of touchdowns. Last year had a mediocre season. People copying and pasting. James Conner, don't feel warm and fuzzy with him. Suspect offense. Don't trust Arizona. Now, in a committee-wise, he's kind of the guy. There isn't anybody that's going to steal some volume, but Kyler Murray, his injuries, suspect offense, who's the wide receiver? Goodwin? Goodwin. I'm way out of Marquise Brown. I think it was Marquise Goodwin years ago. Yeah, I'm thinking Marquise Brown, Rondell Moore. These aren't wide receivers that are going to really spread the offense very well, or the defense well. It doesn't appeal to me. James Conner's a no. You like Conner or no?
Well, I hate the offense of the Cardinals this year. I think Connor consistently finds the end zone. So yeah. I think getting a running back 1 in the 5th round isn't the worst thing in the world if you have 2 guys that you like already. So
yeah. So no for us. They are busts. And let us know in the comments. You guys might like James Conner. I'd love to get your feedback. And if you do like them, I'm going to rip into you in the comments. Let's continue on to the next one. Final round here. We got 2 busts. I've got DJ Moore. You've got Hopkins. What are your thoughts on your guy Hopkins here? Or do you want to just chime in on any one of these guys? Because I think we had this conversation.
Oh no, I picked Pitts for this round.
Oh, you got Pitts. So these are
Kyle
my
Pitts.
guys. I got to give you a bonus here. So DJ Moore and Hopkins, don't trust them. I'll tell you why. So you got Kyle Pitts in this round. So why do you think Kyle Pitts is going to bust? What's your issue?
Yeah, well, everyone's been so high on him 2 years in a row, and I think finally he's plummeting down the draft boards where he belongs. This this is another offense. Like I don't like their offense at all, and I'm not going to be taking anyone from this offense. Ritter is not.
Bijan.
Ritter is not good, and I won't be able to get Pitts the ball.
What?
I won't be able to get Pitts the ball in any meaningful way, in my opinion. So I think he's also coming, and Pitts is also coming off a torn MCL. So I'll pass on a bounce back for a guy in a bad offense.
I got like this like shocked look on my face. I'm wearing a Falcons hat if you're listening in the car. It's just she's not drafting anybody in this top. Not just any. It's Bijan.
I know.
I love Bijan. How dare you just, say you're not going to draft Bijan and Drake London, who I absolutely love. Like, you are insulting the hat and the bird that sits on this hat.
Listen, you were insulting the bird when you wear the Eagles hat by wearing it and not being a fan.
I'm respecting the bird. The only disrespect is I got a Cowboys helmet behind that hat.
That's terrible. That needs to go for sure. That's the worst.
All right. So maybe we'll have Connor wear it one day. We'll have him wear the
Cowboys hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's America's team, and he agrees with the Conchita, so he can. That seems fitting for him for sure.
All right. I'm going to wrap this up here with DJ Moore and Hopkins. Don't trust DJ Moore. Yeah, everyone argues with me. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, yada, 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 yada. Listen, he's got a quarterback that's a running back similar to Lamar Jackson. I don't trust wide receivers that are on new teams with quarterbacks that still haven't developed into what people think they're going to develop to, which is going to be amazing quarterbacks. I'm not sold on Fields. I mean, there's some upside, but, they got Mooney still there. The running backs, it's a bit of a committee. They drafted Rashawn Johnson. I don't trust this offense. I really don't. And DJ Moore with a running back who's a quarterback, don't trust him. And then Hopkins with Tannehill, new team, new offense. Treylon run for his team. I mean, these guys seem like a disaster to me, especially with Hopkins being the age that he is now, who's been falling off the past couple of years. I've got just too many red flags, Gwen. I'm just not excited. So both of these guys get a bust.
Yeah, I agree. That
was 2 because there's two
busts. Yeah, I agree with you on this. So we're gonna end on an agreement. But yeah, I wouldn't stand on a hill for either of these guys. I do think Hopkins has a better shot to be productive this year, though, until Justin Fields proves he can throw the ball.
All right, guys. If you want, that's a lion roar, by the way. If you want to dominate your league's lion mentality, grab the 16-round draft solution. Gwen, we are out. We appreciate everybody being here. Gwen, is there anything else you want to say to everybody on our way out here today as we are in the weekend now? It's Saturday.
Go Birds. That covers us. That covers my team, and you're wearing a bird today. So
isn't there other birds there? There's the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Eagles. There's a ton of other birds. The Ravens.
I know, but the only birds that matter are the Eagles.
I think that's out of those birds, I think that's the strongest bird. The Cardinal, I mean, who decided to make that a football team? That's not a very strong bird, is it?
No, it's definitely not. I mean, and that's very fitting for their team too. So for sure.
All right, guys, we are out. Subscribe, thumbs up. We're going to bring Gwen back for more action weekly. You're going to see your doses of Gwen, Connor, Jim, Tim, everybody. And everybody wants us on the same show. Maybe we should do that very soon.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right,
a
guys.
mock draft.
Mock draft coming soon. We are out, guys. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, and Fantasy Football is back. We're out.